Okay, what do we need for this?
Well, we're going to need the food processor.
All right, I'll get that back over here for you.
And as you said, some of the most important things when you're making a cake is to make sure that you have your pan ready.
Okay.
And I'm also using a springform pan. And what I'm going to do is just spray the bottoms and the side with a regular baking spray.
Those are good, aren't they?
They
I
are.
mean,
They're
it saves a lot of
easy
time.
and clean, not as messy.
Yep.
And then I have a parchment circle that's just cut a little bit smaller than the inside of the pan. I'm pressing it against the side so that the bottom gets covered with the oil. And then I just flip it over.
Good tip.
And put it back in. And that way I know it's not going to stick. So
Okay.
we have that ready. The second thing is to make sure that your oven's preheated.
Okay, what temp are we cooking this at?
350. If you have a
350.
convection oven,
Yep.
you always bake a lower temperature, 25 degrees lower. So that would be 325. A lot of people
Okay.
have convection ovens now.
I'm not crazy about convection myself, Jim, but that's okay. Okay, go ahead. Now what?
Okay, so we're going to start by processing the natural almonds. That means with the skin. And I like to use these because they have more flavor. And they also add a little bit more color to the cake. So we'll
Okay.
add those
Almonds
with our
go in.
sugar.
Yep.
And we'll add the top.
Okay, the top goes on.
And then we're just going to process this. I'll let
Wait a
you
minute. Okay.
turn it on.
Tell me when.
I think we can just leave it on for a while.
Leave it on? All right. Sounds good to me.
Okay, I think we're done.
All right.
And usually you can tell just by the color on the side, and that looks good. So
Okay,
let's
now.
add the rest of the ingredients. We have
All
the
right.
cornmeal,
Okay.
the flour,
Now, is that
Bacon.
just all-purpose?
just regular unbleached all-purpose flour.
Okay.
That was baking powder and some salt. And now I'll let you process that.
Again. Okay.
Again.
All right. Well, there we go.
Okay.
You tell me when.
That's it, just until it's blended. We can
Beautiful.
set that aside.
All righty.
And you know, it's a little uneven, but that's okay. Most of it,
You're gonna mix it
we're
in,
going to
right?
mix it. So now we're going to start with the rest of the ingredients. I'm going to begin with a big bowl and 2 eggs. And what you look for in the egg is that the yolk is nice and round.
Right. Those
and
look
the
good.
white is beveled, and these look very good. So I'm just going to whisk these
Yeah.
to blend the white with the yolk. And then once that's done, I can stir in the olive oil.
So, you know, I noticed that you're baking with olive oil too. You know, I've done this before in other programs that I've showed people that you could bake with olive oil. But are you using olive oil here exclusively, or could you use butter?
No, you could use butter, but
could.
for the recipe, I would melt the butter.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's the same amount. Now I'm going to add the milk.
Okay.
So you can see we're adding all the liquids.
So now what?
Pure vanilla extract.
Which should have 35% alcohol. You taught me that.
That's right. And I like to add the flavorings, the extract, always where the fat is, because fat is a vehicle for flavor.
So you add it towards with all the fatty things.
With all the fatty things. So
Ah.
it will amplify those flavors.
That's a good thing to know. Okay.
Okay, so now we just need the fresh lemon juice.
Fresh lemon juice. Okay.
And I'm also using the rind.
The rind
here.
of the lemon, the
Yeah.
zest.
We'll just stir that
This
in.
is good.
And now we're ready to add the dry ingredients. You can dump it all at
All
once.
at once. See how easy this is?
It's a very, very easy cake.
Okay. That's it. That's all of it.
And you see how thin it is? Don't be alarmed. Some people, when they first make this, they think, oh, I must have made a mistake, but this is exactly how it's supposed to be.
So it should be thin like that.
Nice and thin.
Yeah.
And now we can just pour it into our prepared pan.
Okay. And because that's thin and you're using a springform pan, there's no chance of that leaking, is there?
No, no. Because of the body from the egg, there really isn't a problem.
Okay,
at all.
I'll take that, yeah.
And then this is ready to go into the oven.
Okay, so that's going into the oven.
And
But
this bakes about 45 minutes.
okay, but if you were worried about leakage, you could put it on a bake pan, couldn't you?
You could, yes.
Sit your baking pan right on a bake sheet, and then you can put it in the oven.
What I like about it is because it's low, it's dense, it's very moist, very flavorful, but I can cover it with fresh fruit.
Any kind of fresh fruit, yeah.
Any kind. Today we're going to use strawberries, but I like to use mixed berries. Pitted fresh cherries are fantastic. I just toss them with a little orange juice, put the cherries in the juice, it goes into the cake. But we're going to wash the berries now. So we need a bowl of cold water. You just
Yeah.
drop the berries in, let them float, and it just flushes them. And then I lift them up, put them back on this towel. And then I'm just going to pat them dry.
So you could do this with raspberries,
right,
blackberries,
blackberries.
where you have a delicate fruit, you don't want to put them under the faucet and have them all smushed. So these are going to stay on the cake without putting any kind of a glaze or anything there to hold it?
That's right, because of the moisture in the cake comes to the surface, and particularly when it cools, so the little skin gets a little sticky.
Okay, so.
And I've left the stems on because they're nice and green, and I'm just going to arrange them around the edge. And when you're decorating on a round surface with fruit or anything, you always make the perimeter first.
This is good to know.
So
okay.
just go around the edge here. Now for the center, I hull the berries. And
Yeah.
instead of just cutting it, hacking it right off, I like to do this because you can see that it retains the shape and the beauty
yeah.
of the berries. These just go straight down.
Oh.
And again, I'm going to go around in a ring in the second circle.
Then when you cut into this, you want to cut along the sides of the berries or what?
Yeah, usually that's why I put the big ones on the outside. That's one slice. And then we can just put one more in the middle for decoration.
Well, I guess that's
that's
why
it.
you're the master. Isn't that gorgeous?